So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. You know, when we cover some of these cases, I feel very heavily that it is my responsibility to inform you guys when there are major updates on the stories that I bring to you. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing a very important update on the story of an abroad marriage that eventually led to homicide. Now, apart from the updates on this video, there is a very critical conversation that I would like us to have. So please listen to the end and drop your comments down in the comment section as we discuss. I implore us to listen with an open mind, without bias, without regard for gender sexualization. This is a pandemic. This is fast becoming prevalent. So it's important that we hold sensible conversations around it and give wise counsel rid of bias so people can engage with them and learn so future occurrences will be averted. If you're seeing my face for the first time or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments, very importantly, down in the comment section, and stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. Let us begin. About 5 months ago, we covered a case, a gut-wrenching case of a UK-based nurse called TAIWO OWOEYE, who was brutally murdered by her husband of almost 20 years, Abodunde Olubunmi. So TAIWO and Abodunde are amongst this new set of Jakbaris, as we like to call them, are Nigerians that left for the diaspora in recent times, in the last, shall I say, 7 years down. So TAIWO was a nurse. She was working at the federal government teaching hospital here in Nigeria. She had been married to her husband, Abodunde, and they had 3 sons together. I think their first child is about 16 years. And 2 younger sons. Her husband was 48 years and TAIWO was in her late 30s. So while in Nigeria, the information reaching out is that Olubunmi, the husband, had always been abusive, both verbally, emotionally, and physically abusive to his wife. TAIWO is a twin. Her twin brother Kehinde came out on social media to recount how her husband always used to beat her at any slight provocation when they were in Nigeria. So somehow they decided that she was going to go abroad to study. She came abroad to the UK, studied nursing, did all the settling, got her license and got a good job. And then she decided to begin moving her family. Now, in that last video that I did, I'm going to leave the link to that video in the description box, maybe pinned in the comment section for those that didn't follow through so they can catch up. So many people in the comment section wondered why TAIWO, who knew her husband was abusive, still went ahead to process his papers to come join her. Is it that she felt that he was going to change? Geography never changes anybody. Or did she feel an obligation? Why did she choose to bring him to join her? Now, the report has it that even when TAIWO contemplated bringing only their children, Mr. Olubunmi vehemently insisted that he would never let her take the kids. That it's either she leaves the kids in Nigeria with him or all of them relocate. And come on, if you're a mom, if you're a mother, if you've ever gone through the fangs of childbearing, you would know that it would never have been an easy decision for TAIWO to have left her 3 children back in Nigeria and just moved on with her life in the UK like she didn't have kids. So it was a devil and a deep blue sea situation and she had to make a choice. So she worked the papers for her husband and her sons to come join her. According to court documents, it wasn't so long after her husband joined that he began abusing her. TAIWO, the nurse, was solely responsible for the upkeep and the finances of the family. Come to think of it, Olubunmi was almost 50 years, and I cannot really bank on the kind of educational qualification he came with, or whether he even had the heads to study at all. Everybody talks about relocation. There are some skills and dynamics that you have to possess that would make integrating and relocating easy for you. If you don't have the heads to study, get certificates or certification in the new country, if you don't have the kind of educational foundation and experience that would be befitting of the new country, it might be very difficult. So I do not even know the educational background or qualification of her husband. But what I can sense is that it was difficult for him to secure employment. So he was doing 1 or 2 menial jobs, in and out of jobs, while Olubumi was the one carrying the major responsibilities, working hours as a nurse. So he began beating her. Court records and reports from her family says that he beat her the first time. She kept it to herself. She kept on keeping the whole issues to herself until she saw that she couldn't take it anymore, and then she informed the authorities. When the police got to know of it, they invited Olubumi, had a talk with him, took his statement, and then released him on police bail, giving him some conditions that he should not go close to the house and he should not contact Taiwo directly, that they are going to work out a system where they can co-parent their kids, but for now he should step back. This situation angers a lot of our brothers back home, a lot of our African men, our Nigerian men. It angers them a lot. Why? When there is a dispute, the man is asked to step back. There may be arguments for it or against it, but my understanding of why that happens is that this system generally is usually, typically, on the side of who they perceive as the weaker person. It's not just in marriage, it's not just a man and woman situation. Even in landlords and tenants relationships, the tenants are given more rights. A landlord, in Nigeria, if you don't pay your rent, landlord will come with bulldog and aburu, throw you comot, you go cut tire. They will eject you unlawfully. But abroad here, it is possible for you to stay months without paying your rent, and the law protects you. Your landlord cannot just, treat you with disdain or just evict you. Is it consumers and manufacturers? You're in a country where you can buy something, wear it. After wearing this top, I can choose to return it. It's absurd. It's ludicrous in Nigeria, where we're coming from. But that is the system abroad. The consumer is seen as the weaker person. So the law, policies would always be on the side of that consumer. So also is the man and woman relationship perceived here. They have a system that believes, yes, women, so there's some women that can beat men up. There's some women that can kill men. But typically, statistically, biologically, if you leave a man and a woman in a room and there is a fight, the tendency that the man will be the one to win or beat up or press up or injure the woman is statistically higher. So typically, generally, the law is always on the side of that person that they consider the weaker person, especially when they are kids. In Nigeria, if there's an issue, the woman would live with her kids. Even if they go and stay under the bridge, the law does not protect. It's nobody's business. But here, the system would never allow a woman go out of the house with her children and suffer. So because of that system abroad, the man was asked to step out of the house. This must have angered Olubumi so much. So much, because it wasn't even up to 24 hours after this decision was made, Olubumi struck. After he was granted bail, he walked straight to the house, made sure that he got there at the time when he knew that his wife would be back from her shift. I do not know how he got entrance. I do not know if he convinced her to open the door or if he forced his way into the house. But let me read out to you what the court documents said. The judge said, "The simple fact is that you strangled your wife and then beat her to death and used one of the children's skateboards to batter her skull. A post-mortem examination showed that Taiwo had been throttled until she fell unconscious." So when he got in there, he got a hold of her neck, squeezed it down until she collapsed and fell unconscious, and then he stomped on her vigorously until her ribs were broken. While she was unconscious on the floor, her husband stomped on her and broke her ribs, shattered them to pieces, and then he went further, grabbed the skateboard, one of the children's skateboards, and finished her off. The court documents revealed that the blows from the skateboard were so violent that the skateboard was damaged completely. So you can imagine the force, the power he kept on hitting on his unconscious wife until he plunged her to death. Wow. The most painful part about the story is that police officers stood outside while this happened because they were waiting for orders from their boss to go in. And I'm wondering, is it that they didn't hear the screams, the noise? Shouldn't the first call of duty be going in to salvage the situation? How could they have stood outside waiting for orders when time was of the essence, when an incident was unraveling? If they had gotten entry into the house at the time they got there, this woman may still have been alive, but they stood outside awaiting orders from their supervisor while Olubumi plunged his wife to death. Well, that is being investigated. The time spent and the whole procedures, the whole bureaucracy that was encountered is being investigated by the police department. But Taiwo is dead and she can never come back. So what was the judgment? I'll read it to you. The defendant, that's Mr. Olubumi, was jailed for life imprisonment, with a minimum of 17 years behind bars. The court described him as ferocious, ruthless, cold-blooded, callous, and savage. Can you imagine that this husband arrived to the UK in 2022, and by 2023, less than a year after, he had killed his wife? So what do you think about this court judgment? Do you think that he deserves life with no parole? Or are you of the opinion that after 17 years, he can be considered for parole? Or do you believe that a judgment of 17 years after coming with consideration for parole is a fair and just judgment? Do drop your thoughts down in the comment section. You know, in my personal channel, I have given my personal opinion about this whole abroad marriage thing, because I have heard of it, I have read of it, now I am experiencing it. So I consider myself having a locus standi to comment on this issue. You see, any marriage that was bad in Nigeria will get worse abroad. And any marriage that was good in Nigeria has the potential of getting better here. Don't forget these words. Because you see, this man that came abroad and killed his wife less than 1 year after he arrived. These issues didn't just start in the UK. The marriage had been fundamentally defective and abusive. It was patched. One eye of the marriage was bandaged, plastered, and they patched the marriage and exported it to the UK. And it came here and couldn't survive the test of time because the tides are different abroad. So all those stories of that is how the woman has been okay in Nigeria, the man has been okay in Nigeria until they came abroad scattered the marriage. Abroad didn't scatter anything. That marriage had very severe issues that were being managed because of condition made crayfish leg bent in Nigeria. They were just managing because of hunger, provision, because of dependency, because of culture, because of several things. But you see, this beating, this violence, these issues, most of the times they don't start abroad. They are only manifested and magnified abroad. So if you're a couple in Nigeria or any African country, if you're a couple watching from anywhere and you have the intentions of relocating abroad, my best advice to you is to fix your marriage back home. Because if that marriage is not fixed at home, it would come here and things would escalate. It would crash. And don't blame it on abroad. Abroad didn't do anything to you. I find that the major issues that we Africans in diaspora, especially those that migrated at their later years, the Japa years. You know, some of our Nigerians were born here, they have acclimatized here to the system. I'm talking about Nigerians who already had a foundational structure, who already had a concept of what life is, and they're migrating in their 30s, their 40s. The major challenges that is faced here by couples in this category is 1, finance, management of finance, earning power and financial responsibilities. 2, cultural change in gender roles. Domestic involvement. Who should do what? The feeling of who is overdoing. The feeling of I am overdoing and the other partner is refusing to contribute. The feeling of it is not my job to do this, it is your job to do this. Gender roles is a major serious issue in diasporan marriages of Africans, especially Nigerians. And thirdly, infidelity. Of course on both parts, but majorly from the men. These 3 issues I find are the major causes of disputes and marital clashes in diaspora. Of course, these are my opinions. Please engage in the comment section what you think, your thoughts, your opinions. Before I close this video, I'll just drop some nuggets to the women and to the men. It's a kind word of advice from the bottom of my heart. It is not a blame game. First, to the women, I would like to advise us that a man's mental state and ability to adapt and cope can never be equaled to that of a woman. Do you see the changes that a woman's body has naturally been sculpted and designed to undergo to bear children? Women are elements of change. Women are elements of adaptation. Women can come to a new place and blend into that place and accept their new reality. But it is not the same for men, especially these men that migrate at their later years. Especially these men that already had their lives figured out in their countries where they're coming from. Relocation is not easy. Many people that relocate to Canada, US, UK are not poor people. These are men that were already established in their countries. These are men that already had good jobs. They were already climbing up the career ladder. Then because of situation, the way the country's projection and trajectory is going, they decide, okay, let us give our family a better life, and they leave everything and they come and start all over again. New environment, new career, new everything. It might be easier for we as women to adapt, but trust me, every day these men are still dealing with doubts, asking themselves questions, dealing with adapting, dealing with the change. They're not taking it as easily as we women would typically take it. And just because they do not voice out, just because they are not as vocal as we are about our struggles, does not mean that everything is okay with them. Take it easy. Be their support, be their backbone, be their strength, be their wings, be their inspiration, be their encouragement, be their shield, be their support. Sometimes the both of you may come. You might settle in faster. You might stand on your feet better. You might have a better source of income. He might struggle. He might catch up later. Still show your loyalty, your love, your fidelity. Encourage him, because he might be going through mental issues that you are not even aware of. 2. Financial independence, especially for women who have not tested it, can be intoxicating, and we need to watch it. Open up your mind to accept some of these things I'm saying. Some women, the first time they are touching 2 million naira is when they relocated abroad and got a good job. And you know what they say? You cannot really judge a person's personality, a person's temperament, until they see money. So that loyalty, that kindness, that tolerance that you think you had was sakba. You were only loyal to the provider in that human being, not the individual. So when you get to a place where you can provide for yourself, sometimes it can be intoxicating, and you might not even know that you've changed. You tell yourself, what is it? I've not changed. He's the one that... But if you audit yourself, you might see that your responses, your tolerance, your patience, everything, so many things have changed since you attained financial independence. The regard that you used to accord him might begin to dampen. You might not know that it's happening, but he sees it, he feels it. So if you know that sweet personality, that you, that your spouse loved and fell in love with, regardless of financial status or change, try and maintain the energy, especially for women who didn't have this financial power or liberation back home. Someone like me, even abroad has made me poorer. So nothing abroad can shock me. That's why I didn't even want to come before. If that's the way my country is, what in the hell am I doing abroad? I've had the opportunities of coming abroad since when I was a young girl, even before I got married, but I never embraced it. Even suitors then coming for me, if you tell me you're living abroad, I'm not interested, because I didn't want to go abroad. Abroad has made me poorer. Because if, for example, I do several online businesses. If, for example, I get maybe $3,000 in Nigeria, that is over 3.5 million. I can use it to buy one land in Shogota. But abroad, that cannot even handle 1 month of bills. Rent, insurance, car, food, everything. It cannot even handle 1 month of bills. So coming abroad is even making me poorer. So nothing can shock me about money. But for women who were not working back home, sometimes when they come here and they attain that liberation, it gets into their head. I wouldn't lie to you. 3, influence. You might feel that you are such a tough cookie. Nobody can tell you, nobody can influence you. But trust me, whatever information, whatever energy you surround yourself with consistently, begin to reflect in your behavior. And sometimes it can be slow and steady. Sometimes it can start from your subconscious before it germinates into your conscious. So yes, I have seen situations where we, our Niger babes, come abroad and the company we keep affects our relationship with our spouses, with our family. Our value system becomes altered. So yes, you should socialize, but watch the kinds of people, the caliber of people you socialize with, because your value system can be altered. People that see no value in marriage, people that see no value in husbands, people that prefer independence to having a happy home, forgetting that their own husbands might be reckless, but you have a loving spouse. You will now take their own ideologies and implement it on your own happy marriage and scatter everything. Watch the company you keep. And lastly, my darling women, learn to continue pepperizing your men. Why should the pepperizing stop, Bikono? Because you are abroad? Yes, see, as long as we are young, we are working and we are attaining for greater heights, we would always be busy. This busyness will not stop anytime soon. So life is about making time and provision for things that are important to you. And if that's marriage and love and family is important to you, you will make out time to pepperize the marriage. and make it sweet and bring in spice. Try. You are working long hours, you are stressed, but try. Many times we come here, we African women in diaspora, and all we care about is work, shifts. Yes, we have to make this back, but what will we gain if we make all the money and lose out on family? We have to find a way to combine these things. You cannot be too tired every night. Body no be firewood, yes, but still try and make the consciousness. Because unlike you, a woman can be stressed and the last thing she's thinking about is kwakrekwa. But a man can be stressed, depressed, sick, mad, heartbroken, but he still has mind to think about that one. I'll be wondering, how can someone in this state even imagine? That is how they are built up. So coming abroad, you still have to invest in your marriage, because there is nothing in this life that you don't water that would grow. Be it a flower, be it a job, be it a marriage, whatever it is. If you don't put, even your relationship with God cannot grow if you do not put effort in watering it. So what makes you think that your marriage will remain blissful when you're not putting concerted efforts to make it sweet? Please try. For my men, my darling Odogus, the major problem I see is the inability for the Odogus to embrace change. Many of them want the same system that they enjoyed in Nigeria to be replicated in the abroad, knowing that the situations, the conditions are entirely different. How can you imagine that your wife will be working full-time like you and you still want her to be completely responsible for all the domestic work in the house, and you expect that woman to be happy? Anybody that feels overburdened and overstressed cannot be happy, especially when that woman's partner has refused to contribute to alleviate her pains, to alleviate her stress. Abroad marriage is partnership. It is not God, master and servant. It is not Oga and house help. If you come with that mentality of Oga and house help, that marriage will not last. You will come here and start feeling your wife is challenging you. Nobody is challenging you, Oga boss. The condition is different. There is no help. Everything is on your shoulders and your wife's shoulders. Work as a team. You cannot want to enjoy Obodoyibo privileges with Ishagu, with your Agune chamber mentality. You are a man, yes, nobody is dragging it with you. But here, men roll up their sleeves and wash plates. Men cook, men clean, men take care of children, men do school runs, men go grocery shopping. In Nigeria, it is different. There are alternatives. Your wife can call Kabiru, the mechanic. He will go and buy fuel. He will clean the car for her. She has house help that can hold the baby while she cooks. Over here, there is nobody helping. So if you come back from work, you go and cross your leg waiting for your wife to come back and start doing chores, doing washing, cooking, cleaning while you press your phone. Then in the night, she comes to the room knackered by 11:30 p.m. and she does not have energy to ride a bicycle. Then you start complaining. Since we came to abroad, you deny me sex. Uncle, you want to kill someone's child. But if both of you are doing it together in love, see, this marriage thing is not hard. When you people got married, they give you cutlass and hoe and say go and suffer. It is the individuals in the marriage that will determine whether the marriage will be sweet and easy or hard. The institution is not hard. So why do you want to make things hard for your wife? Because you have refused to embrace change. Imagine that situation where you come back from work and you enter the kitchen. There's soup in the fridge, warm it, the children have eaten. You make sure that the children have tidied up. Your wife comes back from work, she starts doing her own, cleaning, sorting. As she's doing, you are doing. Both of you are smiling, lovey. You do small, you turn, you kiss. By 9 o'clock, the children have gone to bed. You are alone, you have your time from 9. Tell me why she will not be happy to put one leg in Jerusalem and put the other one in Jericho. Let us be human together. Animals survive through adaptability. Animals survive the wild through adaptability. Talk more of you as a human being. Be flexible, be adaptable, easygoing, be cooperative, and you will get the best from your wife. No woman lives a beautiful situation. As I did like this, my husband they totally me like person we just marry. I will not tell him, leave the house. I want to be a single mother in abroad. I want to raise these 4 children alone. Leave the house. I chop winch. Am I mad? But when your presence is causing more torture, more pain, more inconvenience to her than your absence, then what option do you expect her to choose? Dear men, embrace change in the abroad. And funny enough, these things I'm saying do not only pertain to abroad marriages. Everywhere, learn to be human. 2, ego and pride. Many times we assume disrespect, not because it is actually disrespect in the true sense, but because our ego and pride has interpreted it as disrespect. There is a subject on the table. Instead of you to have the mindset of let the best idea win, you stand obstinate in your space and say because you are the man, that's your idea must be what will be implemented, even when it's bad for the general good of the whole family. Why don't you just drop that ego and pride and consider your wife's contributions to learn to partner and cooperate, to rub minds together and come up with the best decision for the family? And every time she wants her voice to be heard or her opinions to be considered, you see it as she has changed. Because she came abroad, she has changed. All this while she has been keeping quiet. It's not because of she really wants to stay quiet. It's because she was handicapped. And now that she's in a place where she's no longer handicapped, that human nature in her to have her own individuality and have a say would always come out. See, my dear brothers and sisters, there is nobody or no set of people that you oppress consistently for years and years on end that person will not revolt. It is a normal course of nature. That is how slavery ended. That is how colonialism ended in many places. Even goats, when you push them to the wall and they keep running and there's no place to run, the goat will turn and bring out his horn to fight that person. So constantly maltreating your wife, one day either opportunity will present for her to say no. It is normal. And as fate would have it, many women find that opportunities when they come abroad. So if you are treating your wife right in Nigeria, you won't even be scared. Say, hey, I don't want my wife abroad. It's only when you are an abusive person, that's when you'll be shaking to bring your wife abroad. So she will not open eye. What eye does she want to open? When she's already enjoying peace, when she's already enjoying care, where she's coming from, which eye will open again? My dear Odogus, calm down. And lastly, before we bring this video to an end, infidelity on the both genders. Yes, women cheat, men cheat too. But if we choose to tell ourselves the truth in diasporan marriages, if we choose to keep gender, man did this, woman didn't, if we choose to tell ourselves the bosom truths, we would know where the bulk of this infidelity lies on. Because I am yet to see a diasporan wife that will take her husband's joint investment with her and come to Nigeria to marry a new man and start a new family there when the husband abroad does not know. Please, if you have that case, list all of them. I want to see about 20 of them down in the comment section, because I have seen up to 20 of the reverse. So why treat a human being like that and you expect the best from them? How serve a human being that level of betrayal? She's working, sweating, turning grey overnight, helping carry the family's responsibilities so you don't die of bills. Then the money you get, you use it to start up a new family back home. And you expect the woman to just smile and say, it's our tradition, it's our culture, it's our culture. What culture are you talking about? Wasn't it our culture to kill twins? Wasn't it our culture to worship idols and deities? Do we still do it? We can quickly dispense cultures that do not favor us personally, but the ones that you derive selfish interest in, the ones that hurt people that you love, that's the only one that you want to hold on to for the rest of your life. What culture? Is it a compulsory culture? Is it a culture where if you don't partake, they're going to roll you out in a market square and behead you? Must you do it? Must you use infidelity to kill somebody's daughter? Must you betray the love, the union, the years of investment that somebody else has poured in the marriage? If someone does that to your daughter, would you like it? For better, for worse. Yes, marriage is for better, for worse, but not self-inflicted worse. You cannot self-inflict pain and torture on another human being and you say it's for better, for worse. The worst I would believe is maybe natural causes, worse that cannot be controlled, illness, loss of employment, accidents. That is worse, that your wife should stand by you, not indiscipline and irresponsibility, human inflicted pain. And you say worse, why don't you stop it? It's within your control. You say you are going for business in Nigeria, you misbehave there. Then you come back, your wife finds out, then she becomes crazy, the sex is ruined, the togetherness is ruined. You won't say the one you did to ruin the marriage. Then you just say, my wife, she refused me sex, she didn't talk to me for 1 month. What did you do? I beg. No human is immune to pain. Pain does not lie in the genitals. Pain lies in the heart. So don't expect that the way a woman will take betrayal should be easier just because she's a woman. No, everybody has a heart, and betrayal hurts everybody. Cases like this makes me weak because I am one person that believes so much in the institution of marriage. All these cases taint the true reflection, the true plan of God when it comes to marriage. And I do hope that God in His infinite mercy and wisdom will keep empowering us, equipping us to make marriage a bed of roses, not a difficult situation as it is portrayed. Please drop all your comments down in the comment section regarding this case of the late nurse Taiwo and her now convicted husband Olubumi, and regarding generally this issue of abroad marriages and why you think many times it does not work. Drop your thoughts and feelings down in the comment section. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.